Hello and welcome to week 28 of the Ashland Place United Methodist Church and our midweek devotions. This week we want to highlight what's been happening in the Hurricane Sally relief efforts. On Friday, after the storm, our Joseph Project, the Missions Committee, and the relief team gathered at the Dumas Wesley Center to hand out lunches, handed out about 500 lunches over the course of a couple of hours. And then on Sunday at lunchtime, we handed out 1,000 meals to relief workers and those who are in need of food and just some relief and some sense of hope. And we want to take a special moment just to say thank you for Cammie Singleton and her leadership in the missions team, to Bob Sharp and his leadership of the relief team, and to Lee Faircloth for her leadership of the Joseph Project. So take a moment and watch this video, and you'll see pictures from Friday and and pictures from Sunday, as well as a brief devotion from Reverend Dr. Darren McClellan, the senior pastor at Fairhope United Methodist Church.
Jesus and speaking of the Beatitudes, and he says, I want you to do good, I want you to love your enemies, and I want you to lend, expecting nothing else in return. That's straight out of Luke's gospel, the words of Jesus. I want you to do good, I want you to love your enemies, and I want you to lend, pour yourself out for the sake of others, and expect nothing in return. When we do that, it creates a buzz, and the rest of the world will drive by and say, why are these people doing this? That is so strange, because everything else in life is contractual, right? It's this sort of, you do for me and then I'll do for you. But when Christians get together and decide that they're going to love and they're going to pour themselves out and they're going to give generously, it confuses the rest of the world. They're not used to that. But if you will do that with all of your heart today, then God will pour some incredible things through you and upon those for whom we're called to serve. I have in my hand the great object lesson. Here's the children's moment. You ready? Here's the children's moment. What is this? How does this thing work? What do you have to do to put stuff in it? You gotta open it, right? This thing does not work unless you open it. And guess what? How much stuff can you put in it? A good amount. But what do you have to do first? You have to keep opening in it, right? The more you open yourself to what may be, the more capacity you will have to serve. Very simple. So every trash bag you grab today, I want you to, this is me. We are not special, friends. There's nothing special about us or terribly pretty today. But yet at the same time, you will never be more beautiful than you are when you are operating at full capacity.
thanks again to all of you who helped with this relief effort in any way, by donating goods, by giving of your time, or by leading the effort. It is such a blessing to be able to be the church beyond the walls. Now we are going to show again some members from the Columbarium Committee sharing about this new and exciting project at Ashland Place. I know that some of you may have seen it last week, but because of so many power outages, I know that not as many people saw it as we hoped. So again, this is the midweek video from last week coming up, but we do hope you will watch it and feel encouraged and inspired learning about how God is moving here at Ashland Place.
Jesus said, "I am the resurrection and the life. Those who believe in me, even though they die, yet shall they live. And whoever lives and believes in me shall never die." John 11:25. Our church is a home to which we turn at many times in our lives, but perhaps never more than when we are grieving. After much work over many months, the administrative board, trustees, finance committee, and columbarium committee are honored to offer a columbarium to our church members and their immediate families. The columbarium will be a permanent structure built to complement our church building, with niches or compartments designed to hold the urns and ashes of our loved ones. The traditional church graveyard served for many years as the ideal place of burial for its congregation. Members were born into the church, spent their lives involved in the church community, and at death, members remained a part of that community by being buried within the graveyard. As churches began to move into more urban areas and there was no longer space around the churches to bury the members, burial in cemeteries came into more frequent use. The concept of the church columbarium is simple in function, yet powerful in both mission and ministry. The columbarium option answers the needs of many of our members. Interment within a columbarium allows church members and their families to have a final resting place within the shadow of Ashland Place, a place we all know, love, and cherish. We are born into the church, our lives have been spent in the church community, and now in death, we can be welcomed back into the church. The columbarium will offer departed members a true homecoming on the sacred grounds of Ashland Place. As well, a columbarium can be a place of great peace and tranquility, and can provide families the opportunity for a memorial service and interment of ashes in one place. There are many decisions to be made at a loved one's death. An interment in a columbarium may remove some of the logistical and financial decisions that must be made. A columbarium is an extension of Ashland Place ministry to our families and a continuation of our church community.
Okay. Hi, well, I was asked to give an overview of the proposed columbarium project for Ashland Place. The committee looked at lots of different locations so that it would be accessible, that it would be a prominent spot, but it wouldn't inhibit any future growth. And what we've decided upon is for phase one that it will be located here. And this is right outside the sanctuary. We are on the south side of the sanctuary between it and the parlor building. And we will begin with a small footprint that basically creates a little walled garden. In this walled garden, each of the walls are only 5 feet. So you have the security of knowing people can see in, but when you're seated at the bench, you also have that isolation that allows you to sit and contemplate. And what it will look like is basically the rest of the church. We tried to recreate the same materials, create a small intimate garden that would also allow us to expand over time should we need to. But I think that this will be a very pleasant addition to the church.
Hello, Ashland Place family. I'm Jonathan Law, Chair of the Board of Trustees. I want to briefly tell you about the Columbarium project, which was recently unanimously approved by the Board of Trustees. It was designed by our resident architect, Don Bowden, and it should be a wonderful addition to our church campus. For more information, feel free to reach out to me or Don or one of the members of the Columbarium Committee, Kano Rear or Susan Santoli. And we're excited about it and look forward to seeing everybody soon. Have a wonderful day. God bless.
Hi, I'm Kane O'Rear, a member of the church, and I just want to talk a few minutes about our columbarium project that we're so excited about. This began as a grassroots effort 10 years ago, and I was involved at that time, and it's just really wonderful to see that it's coming to fruition. It's going to be right here at this spot. I'm standing obviously in front of the church, and I'm just south of the sanctuary, and really we just look forward to having this amenity and making this ground that I'm standing on even more sacred than it has been. My wife Gwen and I have committed to the project. A number of others have already committed, and I want to just talk today about a couple of things that you may need to know in terms of information regarding your decision on this. And the first is the cost issue. And let me say this, from the very beginning, the whole concept was that we would build this columbarium without intruding on any of the operational funds or the building funds of the church. And so this is an expense that most people, either through burial or cremation, have to undergo anyway. And so it shouldn't have any impact at all on those two funds. And these funds that are used for this will remain distinct and dedicated to this particular project. In fact, we think actually in our planning that the building of this will actually enhance the other funds that we have in terms of our operational and our building giving. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that Don Bowden has estimated that the project will cost in the first phase somewhere in the neighborhood of $100,000, and I think he's given it a range of about $89,000 to $107,000. And it may even come in less than that. But we are committed as a committee and as a church to raise those funds before anything is done. And so the process will be that members who are interested in this and decide to go forward with this will fill out an application with the church and will pay up front. And the amount that you pay for a niche in this particular phase one of our columbarium will have 52 niches. Each niche will hold 2 urns. In other words, the remains of 2 people can go into one niche, and that niche will cost $5,000. And so we hope by people signing up to obviously completely pay for the construction costs and then have additional funds as it continues into the future where the church will maintain it in perpetuity. And so the niches are exclusive to what's called the licensee or the member or the person that actually purchases one. And so you can't have some other family or other person go into your niche with an urn. And so it will be reserved for either 1 or 2 urns within each niche. And there's maybe a question about, well, who's eligible to do this? And since we're a church family, we have extended this opportunity and the rules that apply to the columbarium to our extended family. And so members of the church obviously are eligible. The spouses of members are eligible. The children and stepchildren and grandchildren and step-grandchildren are all eligible. Parents of members are eligible. Clergy, obviously, and staff are eligible, as well, both current clergy and former clergy. And so it's just going to be a wonderful opportunity for our church to have this really family spot for remembrance and for prayer and for consecration. And we so look forward to this coming to fruition. And if you want to participate, please call Pam Bostic in the church office and she can give you some directions, or you can call me or any member, Susan Santoli, Don Bowden, Jonathan Law, any of those who have spoken on this issue can fill you in on details. But we look forward to getting it built, raising the money and getting it done very soon. Thank you.